How have things been going last week or so since we talked?
A little bit of flu, a little bit of, and I guess it's on campus a little bit. So KD, I don't know if you remember for Pro Day. You remember he had that virus in his eyes a little bit. Still got it, and so he went through Pro Day. He kind of toughed it out. That was last Tuesday, and really since then it's been off and on. And when he perspires, it gets into his eyes. So we're going to hold him out probably until Thursday. You're getting close to end season now, and we've got that private scrimmage on Sunday. So hopefully we'll get him back on Thursday. Wendell was out over the weekend and missed yesterday with the flu, but he got a flu shot, and that actually kind of allowed him to bounce back much quicker. So he'll come back today. Big Alexander's out today, so we got three guys out, and actually it's kind of going through campus a little bit. So you kind of like in the next week or so, just don't want that phone ringing. Hey, we've got another guy out, so we got 3 guys involved with the flu. So.
Bruce, how's Chance doing on his rehab?
Chance is doing good. Just would love to get a little bit of swelling out to be able to let him do a little bit more. That swelling coming out will determine how quickly we can get him back. Chance was, clearly one of our top guards through the summer, and he really missed a great deal of the fall, in the sense that he was experiencing lots of pain and injury before we had the surgery, and we were doing a lot of rehab, which helped him kind of when it came to prehab for his surgery. But Chance has pretty much missed the fall, and so he'll be back in let's just say 3 more weeks. And so what is it gonna be like when he comes back? Because we'll be starting to play right about then. So that'll be a bit of a challenge. Other than that, we're healthy. Other than the 3 guys with the flu and then Chance.
How's Al Flanagan look since he returned?
Better. The key for Al is to utilize his athleticism to be a great player on the floor, and that's the transition that he's trying to make. And so he's in shape. He looks good, and we've just got, again, we talked about the competition. We got great competition. Him and Chris are a great example of 2 guys. I couldn't tell you right now who would start. I'd probably give Chris the nod because he's been out there the whole time. But KD and Zep, Wendell has probably got a lead on Trey, and his chances out. But Jalen and Yohan, Janai, and Dylan. So it's as we've said from the beginning, we've got really good depth.
When you talk about Flanagan just being a better player on the floor, you talk about being more consistent, not turning the ball over, shooting better.
Just being productive, obviously shooting better percentages, and both from 3 and at the rim. He's always been a really good free throw shooter. How do you use your physicality? How do you use it defensively? How do you use it rebounding wise? How do you, be productive like that? And so, working through all that. And my guess is we have SEC Media Day, tomorrow. And once again, we'll probably be picked in the top 5 or 6 teams in the league. And how many of our players will be, first or second team? I'm not sure how many teams they have, but it'll probably be the same thing. It's going to be harder. Will Wendell be the best point guard? Will KD be on that list? Where will they put our freshmen compared to the other freshmen? So, typically we get ranked pretty good as a team, but our individuals don't get much notice.
Bruce, what's I guess your focus at this point in camp, leading up to that first game? What are you looking for from your team at this particular?
So today, as we sit, we have officials coming in today. And what do we have? 3 weeks before we open, roughly speaking. I'm gonna try to make today as game-like as I can, even though, again, I said that, and yet I've got 3 or 4 things I've got to teach before practice to make this a better scrimmage, and so I'm not exactly going to be able to do it. But I'm going to try to play 4 7.5-minute games today. Half of it will be best on best, and half it'll be us against a scout team. And I still think I got to keep teaching. I got to keep on having them understand our system. While I'm doing that, we'll be evaluating to say, okay, who starts and who comes off the bench? What combinations, play better together? We played a combination of Dylan and Yo on the front line and Jalen and Janai in the summertime. And I want to try to mix those combinations up to see if rather than which individual's playing better, maybe there's a combination that's playing better. And then keep learning for the next 3 weeks. But way more game-like, way more scrimmaging, and a lot less shell.
Yeah, you guys are 15th in the preseason poll. You've been top 15 pretty much across the board. Do you have any reaction to that, or
My reaction's the same way it's always going to be. I got a ton of loopholes in me. I'm way better as the underdog. I'm way better when you're going to pick us 4-14, right? Which was back in 2018. So that's just not going to change. I can't change who I am. And again, I'll learn a lot more from. I'll have a better idea Sunday. I'll have a better idea for Sunday. And so, we're not the 15th best team in the country right now. I can tell you that. I don't mind sharing that.
What are you looking for specifically on Sunday in that scrimmage?
Well, first of all, when you play, again, we'll talk about, and one thing I don't mind talking about it's before, because it's okay to talk about before, but we won't be talking too much afterwards. And remember last year, we were really close-lipped on that stuff, because you're supposed to be by rule. Look, Andy Kenny is going to play really hard, really physically. They're older. A lot of fifth-year guys. They were an NCAA tournament team last year. If Houston doesn't make a bajillion threes, that could have been an upset in the first round of the NCAA tournament. They'll throw the kitchen sink at us. They'll play very aggressively like we play, man-to-man. They'll mix in some 1-3-1. They'll mix in some 2-3. Walker, little point guard, has scored 40 points twice. The only college player returning to score 40 points twice. So easy for me to talk to my guards and go, it's quite a challenge. This guy can really, really score. It'll be. We're gonna, we'll learn where we are. We're gonna play to try to win. We'll probably play at least a couple of halves. But we got a lot of it last year. We'll get a lot out of it this year.
Last question for Coach.
Bruce, you mentioned Chance competing at point. Could you also see him playing like some 3, some 2?
I can see Chance playing 1, 2, or 3, and where he plays may be a reflection on where our roster is the weakest at that position, or doesn't have the most depth. I like the ball in his hands, but I also like him out there with a point guard, because then he's a secondary ball handler, a secondary ball screen offensive threat. It does make us a little smaller and a little lighter in the ass if he's not playing point. Okay? You guys want to visit with Seth?